Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. Hey guys, today I am going to be showing you the process to make your own pen and gear cover piece. Um, and it's going to look a little something like this, but only better. Okay. So when I did this one, guys, I actually used just regular cardstock, but this time I'm going to try it with photo cardstock. The only issue that I'm foreseeing with the photo cardstock is that, it'll be easy to kind of scratch that coating on there, but we're going to see what happens. All right. So for this particular project, guys, if you want to follow along to do this, Walmart has the pen and gear college ruled, which has 42 holes, and then the 3 holes here. They have these on sale right now for 35 cents. Go grab them up. All right, but that's what we're going to be doing. Now, I only replaced the front cover, but you can replace both. So for this particular project, you're going to need a pen and gear, college ruled, 42 hold, okay, notebook. And you're also going to need wire cutters. You're going to need some needle nose pliers, a brayer. I have my Cricut brayer. Y'all don't pay attention to my hair because it's been a long day, and I'm not paying any attention, so y'all shouldn't either. This little thing right here gonna make me go crazy. It's time for me to go get a haircut. You're gonna need a 12 by 24 cutting mat because I know you don't want to have to cut this yourself unless you have a small hole puncher. That will work too if you have a small hole puncher. I don't recommend it. I'm going to be using Epson 11 by 17 photo paper glossy. And if you don't have photo paper, guys, I got this at um, Office Max or Staples years ago. And I mean years ago. Okay, 11 by 17. Oh, God. My hair is growing, y'all. And so it's like it's sticking out in places that I don't want it to. All right. And then you're going to need the image that you want to put on your cover page. So I'm going to be using an image from Midjourney that I created myself. And you're also going to need the template for the 42 hole college rule notebook. Now, the person that I purchased mine from on Etsy, their shop is closed. And that was from Pinky Creations 777. But that's why you download your stuff, guys, and save it to your computer so you don't have to worry about that. But Pinky Creations 777, where I got mine years ago, is out of business on Etsy. No longer has an Etsy shop. But there is one supplier on there called Fresh, Fresh Creations with the K. Kreationz, Fresh Creations, for $3.80, and you're gonna get seven. You're gonna get seven templates. So it's gonna be all different sizes, okay? Not just the college rule. So I think that's a pretty good deal. I may end up buying that, but then I don't know because I don't do that many notepads. But I think that's a good deal. Fresh Creations, guys. Fresh Creations. Pardon my writing, but Fresh Creations with the K ending with the Z, not an S, for $3.80. And you're going to get 7 templates. Okay. So again, Pink Creation 777. Got it. All right. So without further ado, let's jump in Cricut Design Space, which is where we're going to be doing this. So guys, you can do this using Silhouette if you have Silhouette. The Cameo. I'm not going to be using the Cameo. I'm going to be using my Cricut Maker. Maybe the next tutorial, because I haven't did any print and cut on my Cameo. So maybe I'll do that next time. Really, I haven't even touched this Cameo that much. It's just sitting over here collecting dust like my hair. Okay, I'm sorry. But anywho, y'all, let's go ahead and jump into Cricut Design Space. All right. All right, guys, since I'm here in Etsy, this is the supplier for the spiral notebook template. They tell you you get 5 SVG laser cut. Now this says laser cut. Blah, blah, blah. Hopefully you can use these in your inkjet, and maybe laser is just a term that she used. Let's see here, because I hate to send you to the wrong place. Your files, blah blah. Let's see. All right, so 5 notebook templates to cut, to personalize custom notebooks, and you get 2 additional. So these are the ones that you're gonna get. So you can see they cover all different types of notebooks. And all right, it says laser cut, but I'm assuming they're just saying the precision guys. But you should be able to do this in your um with your Cricut, okay, without any problems. All right, so that's that. Let's jump over to Cricut Design Space. All right, so here we are in Cricut Design Space. We have a blank canvas here, and I am going to, this is the image that I did earlier, the one I just showed you. You can add words to it, guys, or you can leave it blank like I did. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. We'll delete that. Y'all, with this new laptop, my delete button is in a different place, so I keep hitting the old place where my delete button was. So, anywho, all right, so here we go. So the first thing you want to do is the pin and gear is the size is 8 by 10 and a half. Okay, so when you bring your image in, you want to make sure your image is 8 by 10 and a half. All right, that's the size you're going to size it to. So we're going to go upload and upload image, browse. And let's see what image I want to work with this time. I think this time I'm going to work with this one. Yep, I think that'll be pretty. All right, I'm going to select complex as I often do, and I'm going to click continue in the bottom right corner. And then in the bottom right corner, we're going to apply and continue because we don't have anything to do on that screen. And then you're going to select the second option on the right here, which is the print, then cut image, and select upload in the bottom right corner. And you're going to go ahead and select your image, and in the bottom right corner, click add to canvas. All right, so once you get your image in, guys, you're going to go ahead and click on your lock proportions one time, and you're going to change this to a width of 8 and a height of 10.5. All right, just like that. And then just click that lock proportions one time to lock it back. Always a good idea to lock it back so you don't mess up anything. And then I'm going to upload my template, which is here. And this is where you'll upload your template. And we're going to size this down to the same thing, an 8 by 10 and a half. So we're going to unlock the proportions just like we did with the image. And we're going to make this an 8 and 10.5, which is the size of our pen and gear notepad. And go ahead and lock your proportions back. Now, if you want to add words, guys, you can add words onto yours. I'm not going to be adding words, but it's just simply putting the text on there and making sure that you select print, then cut. after you group the image with the text together. Otherwise, your Cricut or Explorer Cameo is going to try to cut out the words as well. So you just want to make sure that whatever text you add, that the text is on print then cut, blending right in with your image. Okay, so make sure that that text doesn't say cut by itself. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this and we're going to place it on top of our image like so. And then I'm just going to grab both of them and I'm going to go to align and select center horizontally. That's just to kind of make sure that they are lined up. And then still having both selected, as you can tell here on the far right side of my layers, both are selected. I'm going to come down to the bottom right and select this first option, slice, and that's going to cut all or initiate where all the holes will be. All right. And remember, you can only slice 2 layers at a time. So one is the image and one is the image and one is the template. Okay. So that's a total of 2. So we're going to click slice. And then our slice results will show up, and that way we'll know that the slice has happened. So we can go ahead and get rid of our template because we no longer need it. And I just, again, hit where my delete button used to be. And then we can move this out of the way and highlight this and delete it. There we go. And now we have our template for, oops, I just widened it. You want to make sure it's still at 8 by 10.5. All right. So it's just that easy, guys. Just that easy. You're going to bring your image in, size your image to 8 by 10.5. Bring your template in, size it at 8 by 10.5 for the pen and gear. You want to make the sizing based off of whatever spiral notebook you're actually using. Okay, so I'm using pen and gear, the 42 oblong pen and gear, or maybe this one right here. That one looks, no, it's that one. But you want to make sure that you size it according to whatever size your notepad is. Okay. At this point, guys, we are ready to send this to the printer. So we're going to click on make it. There's nothing else to do because we're not adding any words. And you can see here that Cricut is going to force you to do an 11 by 17 piece of paper or 11 by 11 0.7 by 16.5. So I have 11 by 17. And you don't need to mirror or anything like that. So we're going to be sending this to our printer. After we print it out, we're going to put it on our 12 by 24 mat. And then I'm going to be placing mine in my Cricut Maker. And Cricut is going to then cut out all of these little holes for me so that I don't have to. All right. All right. So we're going to click on continue in the bottom right. And I will say, guys, for this project, you're going to either need the strong grip mat, or either you want to make sure your green mat is very sticky because there's a lot of holes, 42, 45 holes to be cut out exact, 42 of the small ones and then the 3 larger size ones. And if your piece of cardstock shifts, it's a wrap. Okay, and you don't want that to happen. So make sure that either your 12 by 24 green mat is very sticky or use the 12 by 24 strong grip mat, which is your purple mat. Okay. All right, so we're going to hit send to printer. And I'm just going to make sure I got all my settings right for I'm using the HP OfficeJet Pro 7740, which is my inkjet printer. And I'm going to be using the system dialog. And I'm going to click on print. And I'm going to go here to preferences. And I'm going to make sure that it's on portrait. We're only printing on one side. And then I'm going to go to the paper quality here and select main tray because that's where I want my paper to come from. And this time I'm going to select photo paper. And we'll see how that goes. And hopefully I don't have to come back and use the regular cardstock because I want to see what the shiny one looks like. And then we're going to come down to our paper size and select tabloid or whatever your setting is for 11 by 17. My 11 by 17 is tabloid. And we're going to leave everything else. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and load my paper. Let me take it out. Now this Epson Photo Glossy is expensive, guys, because you only get 20 sheets of it. So if you order this, I'm pretty sure I have it linked in the description of my video tutorial because I link a lot of my supplies on Amazon. But you want to make sure that you're not wasting it, okay? So the only thing I don't like about it is that it's thinner than your cardstock. So take that into consideration because this is more like photo glossy, so it'll be a little bit thinner than my normal cardstock would be. So I'm gonna have the glossy side face down, and we're gonna go ahead and get it printed out. So let me get it put into my printer. Hold on one second. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hit OK and print. And while that's preparing to print, I'm going to go ahead and come back up on the screen again, guys, so we can finish walking through the process. I have my image printing out here. Look at that. Ooh, it's so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. Let me move this light so you guys can get the full effect. Ooh. I want this to kind of dry a little bit because I just know that when I put it in this cutting machine over here, it's probably going to have some lines going across my image. I'm hoping not, so I'm going to try to let it dry. But we're going to use the 12 by 24 mat. I'm using my gray mat because it's super sticky because it's brand new. It's brand new. All right. So you want to make sure we have that. Cricut has it going in the portrait. Oops. This mat is sticky. And my image just fell onto it. All right, so I'm going to line this up onto my mat. All right, that looks good. And you guys know that Cricut is going to always have that registration mark. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to put it into the Cricut Maker. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that Cricut doesn't put lines on this glossy paper because it is so pretty. It is so pretty, but I am not. We're going to see what happens. Stranger things have happened, right? So I'm going to put this on medium cardstock for my setting in Cricut Design Space. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Cricut and select medium cardstock. And now my Cricut Maker over here, turn that around. My Cricut Maker is going to now be blinking so that I can go ahead and put this in. Oops, there's like a little bubble in here. Make sure I get that out. I'm just trying not to touch this the color part, because I don't want to smear the ink. Let me see if it seems like it's going to smear. All right. I highly recommend, guys, if you use the Photo Glossy paper, it's a little bit thicker than paper, but not as thick as my cardstock was. I need some light up in this mug. Okay, so there we have it. All right. So let's move some. Make sure it's dry. Oh God. I do not want it to mess up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into the Cricut Maker. We're gonna hope for the best, y'all. All right, so Cricut is going to do its thing. It's going to do our little do our do our little holes, cut our little holes out for us, guys, so that we don't have to do that. That's the hardest part of the project is the cutting, and Cricut is gonna do that for us, or your silhouette cameo. Um, Mine is just sitting over here, guys. Let me see if you can see it. Y'all see my silhouette cameo? It's just sitting here. I need to use it. I need to use it, guys. But I haven't been using it as much as I said I was going to be, but it's there. All right. So we're gonna let Cricut cut that out for us. And then we're gonna get to the part where we then take and remove the pin and gear note cover. This is where you're going to need your wire cutters and your needle nose pliers. These two things right here. All right. So I'm gonna let this cut out, and I just hope that it doesn't scratch up the coating on that photo glossy. All right. So let me take a look. I don't have any shoes on, y'all. Right, so it's looking good, guys. It's looking pretty good over here. All right. Looks good. Everything is still intact. So we're going to now remove it from the mat. We're going to take it off the mat. And again, being careful not to mess up the coating from the glossy. I tell you, this mat is sticky. It is sticky. All right. So we got the border removed. And now we're going to go in and we're going to pull this up. Now, what I like to do, guys, is kind of get it started. And then I like to kind of use my mat to kind of roll my mat backwards so that my image doesn't have like a curve in it. So I'm going to try to do that. It may be a little bit hard only because this mat is super sticky, super sticky. So I'm probably going to come out better just using my uh, spatula here, but keeping it from falling back down because it'll just get back sticky again or stick to the mat. So I'm going to try to do my best to keep it from sticking back down. But if your mat is not this sticky, then you probably won't have these issues. I'm just trying to be super careful because I don't want to rip my image and I don't want my image all bent up. All right. I think what I'm going to do here to make it easy on myself, let's go ahead and get it down here at this bottom. Now, like I said, guys, if yours is not super sticky like this, it should come up easier, but this mat is new. Come on, stop touching the mat. All right, guys, let's take a look and see what we got. All right, so I'm going to push all these holes. Let me pull this back up. I'm going to push the remaining holes out, but you guys can see how pretty that is. It did cut all of my holes. I just need to use my weeding tool. I think I have it on the other table over there. I just need to use my weeding tool to push out the holes, but it did cut. Let me show you. It did cut all the way through, and I had it on medium cardstock. So all of the holes are cut. This is gorgeous. And this is an image that I created using the Discord server in Midjourney. All right. All right. So now let's get it on our notepad, on our Pen and Gear notepad. So I'm going to move over to the other table so you can see it better. All right, guys. So we have our Pen and Gear notepad. Again, this is the college rule. It has 42 holes and then the 3 larger holes. And what we're going to do is on the edge, at the top and the bottom, hopefully you guys can see that, you're going to have a little wire that is bent and it's connecting the first and second wire together. Hopefully you guys can see that. We're going to cut that off. So I'm just going to take my wire cutters here and my needle nose pliers. I'm going to work it through first to unbend it so I can make it easy on myself. So I'm going to take my wire cutters and just cut it off just like that. You want to do the same thing with the one on the bottom. And don't cut a lot, guys. You're just cutting off where the loop is. All right? So that it's no longer connecting the first 2 pieces of wire together. Okay? So you guys can see I've snipped it at the top and the bottom. Now you're just going to take and you're going to roll, holding your paper in place. You're going to roll the spiral out of the notepad. So I'm just going to roll it, and you guys are going to start to see it coming out. You're just rolling it. All I'm doing is just holding it with my right hand in place and rolling that spiral with my left hand. Okay, very easy. To make it easy on yourself, guys, make sure you're holding it in place sturdy so that all of your holes are lined up, so that it'll be just a matter of taking off that front and back cover, whatever you're doing. I'm only doing the front cover. You see how that wire is coming out so easy? And it's going to go back in just as easy. Okay. Just like that, we got the wire out. All right, I'm gonna place it down and take off that top. This is trash now. And we're gonna grab our image. And we're going to now place our image. Notice all of our holes are punched out for us. We're gonna place that right on top. And you wanna make sure it lines up perfectly, guys, because that's the only way you're gonna make it easy on yourself putting this wire back in, okay? So I'm gonna try to pick this up without messing up the little holes. There we go. All right, I got it lined up. I'll show you guys. See how it's lined up? You want to make sure it's lined up. All your holes are lined up. And you're going to take the wire and you're going to wire it through that first hole. All right, and again, holding the paper in place with one hand and just turning, spinning that wire so that it goes into each one of the holes easily. All right, so you guys see how I'm putting it, threading it right back into those holes. Make sure your holes are lined up. That's what's going to make this super easy for you. If it's not lined up, you're going to keep getting stuck, okay? And you don't want that to happen. So I'm going to have to hold it down here, guys, but hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to thread it right back in. If you get to a part where it feels like it's not going through, it's because you don't have everything lined up like you're supposed to. Okay, you guys see how it's going back in? Really easy. All we're doing is threading it back in. As long as you have those holes lined up, all your holes lined up, it's gonna go in without a problem. Now, the first time you do this, just take your time, guys. Just take your time, because you're gonna have more issues trying to do it fast and keep getting, you know, getting stuck. So just take your time. Just like I said, make sure those holes you can see all the way through, okay? Just like that, so that when you're threading it, it's got no choice but to go into those holes. Alrighty, if you miss a hole, just start threading it like you're taking it out. Thread it like you're taking it out and go back. So every time I feel like I'm stuck, it's just because that metal piece is sticking up against a piece of the paper in the back. It's not that my holes aren't lined up, but the spiral part is hitting the paper, the back of the paper. And I'm just making sure that I go ahead and maneuver it right into that hole. So you guys can see we're almost done. And then we're going to take and we're going to connect the first two wires on the top and bottom using our needle nose pliers. We're going to connect those two wires at the top and the bottom and put that little bend back in it just like we took out when we cut it. All right, last hole, and we're done. All we got to do now is take and connect that top wire that's loose. This, hopefully you guys can see that. This piece that's loose, you're gonna take it and you're gonna bend it to where it's connected to that second piece of metal. I'm gonna turn it around this way so I can see what I'm doing. But I'm just going to take it and bend it to where it connects, so that now if I were to spin it, it won't come out. And I might have said spin it, spin it, spin it, guys, spin it. All I'm doing is connecting that first wire to the second wire just by making a little bend in the metal. So I'm sorry I have to hold it down like this, guys, so I can bend it. Bend it. All right, and it's done. Isn't that pretty? And it did not mess up, guys. I am super stoked. Look at that. And we can take this and trash it, because we just replaced our top cover of our pen and gear notepad. Which one would you rather have? All right, and like I said, guys, you can put words on here. I just chose not to. I'm gonna get the other pad so I can show you again the difference. All right, this is just using the regular Astro Bright cardstock. You can use that, but you're gonna get more of a matte look, but she's still fly, okay? Or you can go with the Photo Glossy, all right? You can do either or, but to do this in Cricut Design Space, guys, you're gonna need 11 by 17 paper. 11 by 17 paper. Cricut's not gonna let you print and cut this large without it automatically going to 11 by 17 paper. All right, and then you'll have to use your 12 by 24 matte. I think it's fly, guys. Look at that shine. Y'all know I'm about to order some Photo Glossy cardstock now. But I like them both. It's just a matter of your preference. Do you want it shiny, or do you want it do you mind it being matte? If you're doing these for kids, guys, and you're putting kids images and stuff like that, I probably would go with the matte, you know, because they're probably going to mess this up. But if it's for you, then, you know, or you're selling them, just let them know that, you know, this is coated for Photo Glossy. So I could take my finger and easily scratch that coating. And that's why, you know, it just depends on what your preference is. She fly. She is fly. And again, guys, I created these images using a Discord server in Midjourney. All right. All right, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and you can't change my mind, not even if you paid me. Well, I ain't gonna say that, but anywho. All right, guys, that's it. If you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support that you show via YouTube. If you are seeing me for the first time and you like my method of teaching, I have almost 500 video tutorials on all types of crafting projects that you can walk through with me. So if you like my method of teaching, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm headed to 14,000 subscribers, and I am so proud of myself and glad that you guys came along with me on this journey as I continue to grow my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on TikTok at Candora's Creative Crafts. You can subscribe to or join my TikTok channel, which is what I'm trying to increase right now. And then, guys, if you're currently in my Facebook group, Candora's Cricut and Creative Crafters, I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support. I love my Facebook group. I have an awesome group. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And at some point in time, I'm going to close it off where no one else can join. So you want to go ahead and join now, because it could be tomorrow that I close my group off where I'm not accepting any more members. But anywho, If you want to join my group, Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters, all you have to do in the description of this video tutorial, all you have to do is click on the Facebook link for my group, agree to the Facebook group rules, and we'll get you in. All right. And that is it, guys. So let's go over what you're going to need. You're going to need at least 11 by 17 in either photo glossy cardstock or either 11 by 17 just plain cardstock, which has the matte look, but it's still, as you can see, the picture still speaks for itself, guys. It speaks for itself. It's still super fly, even though it's not shiny like this one. But can you imagine what that would look like? Ooh, I'm gonna do it right after this video. All right, so you're gonna need 11 by 17. You're gonna need the image of your choice. I did mine using my Cricut Maker. I used my HP OfficeJet Pro 7740, which prints up to 11 by 17. So you're gonna need a wide or large photo, a large printer format for this. And you're also going to need wire cutters and needle nose pliers and a pen and gear notebook and also the template. And I gave you the name of where you can get 7 of them now for $3.80. So go and out on Etsy to that supplier and go ahead and get your 7 templates, and that way it doesn't matter what notepad you're gonna be covered. Okay, now this pen and gear is an 8 by 10. I know that because it says it right on the pen and gear thing down here. So you want to make sure that you make your image whatever size your cover is. So if you're not using the pen and gear and you use one of those other templates, you want to make sure you're using the sizing on the notepad that you're using. So this one is an 8 by 10.5. All right, and guys, it's super pretty. All right, chime in the comments, let me know what you think. I think I gave you guys everything, and then I said I think I said I used my Cricut Maker to have it cut out those holes for me, so you can see how that was perfect. And again, snip that little bend, cut it from the top and the bottom. Go ahead and roll it out. After you roll it out, change your covers, swap out your covers, line it back up, and then roll it back in, and then take the needle nose pliers and connect that first wire to the second wire so that you can't see. Now when I do that, it's not coming out. Okay, it's stuck now. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. You guys know my motto is each one reach one, so that each one can teach one. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.